name is Fred Ziemann, and I was in pilot training for the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. Before I entered the military, I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my sister, my mother, and my father, and on December 7th, 1941, I was in front of the room of our house reading the funny papers when the radio broadcast reported that the United States was now entering the war. Pearl Harbor had just been attacked. I was 16 years old.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
After graduating from high school, I enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps and was later sworn into training on March 1st of 1943. I flew down to Miami, Florida, where I received basic Army training. Out of all the planes I got to fly, my favorite by far was a PT-17. It flies like you can't believe. When you were up in the air, it felt like the plane wasn't moving at all, and the world was around you, and we were just up there for the ride. It was an amazing feeling. I would sometimes take a plane out and get some of my buddies to come along, and we would go out and do tricks such as a hammerhead. This was when you would fly out and you would stall the plane, fall down to 13 spins, and pull back on the stick and pull out. My best friends during the war were Harry Washington and John Durkin. My buddies and I served time together during the long days of training. I remember one night in South Dakota, my friends and I wanted to pull a prank on one of the guys who always went to bed early. We poured gasoline on the cement floor of our barracks and then we lit it with a match. We all screamed fire and watched the guy jump out of bed and run out of the room. It was one of the best times I had in the military. Wartime was known as a horrible experience for many involved. My buddies and I had some memorable times. When vehicles were coming down a small highway in Florida, three of us would fly our planes down in front of it and pull up at the last minute. We would also go and stampede cattle just for fun. My defining moment would have been the one that other people had experienced. Mostly any American felt it. When FDR died, it impacted me dearly. For one, I didn't know what would happen to the country. We were in the midst of a war, and our leader suddenly died. The other half was that I had a deep, utmost respect for him, as many did in our country. In my perspective, the war was a great part of the history of our time. I thought it helped make the world a better place. It showed the bad people and made some of the world more alert for the troubles that would occur at any time. All through this, it showed that some people would step up to the call of the nation and bring down the tyrants for the good of the world. My time in the military was a great one. I learned many helpful things that people wouldn't even dream, such as learning how to fight martial food, make a bed to a precise specifications, and of course fly planes. The military was a great step in my life. It helped me do better things, and it was like going back to school all over again. Through all of this time, I realized something. It was extremely clear to me that my country, the United States of America, was the best in the world. Like millions of other men who enlisted along with me, I was proud to serve my country. If I had the chance, I would do it all over again.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft, but then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's a boogie bugle boy of Company B.